Apecoin community votes on keeping Ape token in Ethereum ecosystem. What are you guys doing? I don't understand this one at all. I don't understand this situation. Like we saw early on, I think with the land sale, right? We had the big old land sale from Yuga Labs. It crashed the network, not really crashed it, but caused fees to be so high that it was unusable for the average person. It congested it, made it slower. This was all like something they did with, the Apecoin on the Ethereum ecosystem. You had to buy some Apecoin, which is not a coin, it's a token. God dang it, it's a token. Let's make the distinction, even though they're going to call it Apecoin. It does look like they're saying Ape token in the article, so I appreciate that, Bitcoin.com. But, it can get quite confusing. Once that went through and they experienced all the congestion and all the kind of issues surrounding utilizing, basically ERC20 on the base layer, that sort of thing, they were talking about moving Ape token to its own chain and having Apecoin. Now, I was pretty bullish on that from the perspective of, well, if anybody has the funding and the resources to create a new chain, it would hopefully be Yuga Labs, right? But I do understand the perspective of kind of moving off of Ethereum and then having to deal with getting integration into large NFT marketplaces like OpenSea. But I would think that Apecoin would have like a large enough community and a large enough backers just from all the money that's been dumped into the project through NFTs that they would be able to fund something and get something working and OpenSea would adopt it. But it appears like that's not going to happen. The Apecoin community is in the midst of discussing whether or not the crypto asset should remain within the Ethereum ecosystem. While AIP41 voting started today, the proposal's voting process will end on June 8th at 9 p.m. So that's tonight. We'll confirm tomorrow what this vote ended up being. But meanwhile, the project's native token Ape has lost 57% against the US dollar in the last 30 days. That's not really that surprising because kind of that's the entire market, right? This week, the Apecoin community is voting on whether or not the native token Apecoin should remain on the Ethereum blockchain. The voting process was announced by the official Apecoin Twitter account in order to update the community. Quote, the proposal up for vote is AIP 41, which proposes Apecoin to stay within the Ethereum ecosystem, end quote, the tweet explains. Voting ends next Wednesday, June 8th at 9 p.m. Eastern, so be sure to vote before then. The tweet also links to the Apecoin improvement proposal, AIP 41, which I guess we could take a look at just to be clear, but it's basically whether or not they're going to keep it on here. Let's go over this, though, before we get into the voting. All right, so Abstract Yuga Labs stated in a tweet that they believed Apecoin needed to be moved to its own chain in order to scale. Remember, we reported on this, and I agreed with him. And we're also, this whole entire show is going to go together because we're also going to be talking about Ethereum scaling and if they're actually scaling, right? Quick tip, the merge isn't scaling, right? That's the whole problem here. So Apecoin should at least, so they say we, the Apecoin DAO, believe that at least for the time being, Apecoin should remain within the Ethereum ecosystem and not migrate elsewhere to an L1 chain or side chain not secured by Ethereum. Here's the motivation. Migrating to different chain is costly, risky, and complex endeavor with many moving parts that may, if not thoroughly or thoughtfully considered, result in catastrophic loss or at worst abandonment by Yuga Labs and other entities that would otherwise be meaningful to Apecoin. I understand that rationale, right? While Yuga Labs expressed a desire to move away from Ethereum after the other side deeds mint resulted in a big spike in gas costs, we, the Apecoin DAO, believe that such a decision is currently too complex and costly to make. By migrating Apecoin away from Ethereum, it would then find its home on a different chain than the original assets that inspired it, Yuga Labs' own NFTs, which obviously would be the entire point, because you would want to get off the ecosystem that is making it difficult for people to participate within your ecosystem. At least that's my perspective. This may have unintended downstream effects, they say, such as Yuga Labs no longer supporting or using Apecoin in association with its NFTs like Bored Apes, Mutant Apes, or other side deeds. While gas costs and transaction speeds may be a concern for some on Ethereum, for all on Ethereum, unless you're ridiculously rich and actually own one of these things, I suppose. Especially when considering the desire to grow the Apecoin system, moving it away from Ethereum ecosystem is neither necessary but potentially detrimental to Apecoin holders and the interests of the DAO. Ethereum and its respective L2s, layer 2s, remain the largest collected ecosystem of NFT projects, builders, liquidity, and users. Moving Apecoin away from this ecosystem could be detrimental to its health and the DAO's goals of growing the ecosystem. Many layer 2 solutions that are secured by Ethereum and exhibit meaningful improvement over fees and speed already exist and could potentially be explored in the future. These solutions include optimistic rollups such as Arbitrum and Optimism, or ZK rollups such as Starknet, ZK Sync, and Polygon. Note, L2 rollups differ from sidechains such as Polygon or L1 such as Avalanche in that they rely on their own security as opposed to Ethereum's consensus. There are a few examples of migrating an ERC20 and its attached ecosystem successfully to another chain, and there may be many risks of loss along the way. Ethereum security remains second to none. Woo! Aren't these boys in for a surprise? Yeah, Ethereum's security is number one right now because it has the most hash rate, most distributed hash rate, and it's proof of work. So, maybe you want to migrate off of the most secure network before it becomes the least secured network in the ecosystem. Oh. Here's the specifications. Apecoin must remain within Ethereum or within an L2 scaling solution that is secured by the Ethereum blockchain. While this proposal makes no such recommendation for Apecoin other than remaining on Ethereum, it does not preclude subsequent AIPs from suggesting a move to an L2 scaling solution secured by Ethereum. Steps to implement. There are no additional steps to implement. Timeline and start date would be immediate, with any competing AIPs withheld until after the period of 3 months following the acceptance of this AP. Let's get more information on what happened here. So, for now, much of the discussion goes both ways, as some people agree with the Apecoin DAO's opinions and others do not. Some individuals mentioned scaling solutions, which we already covered, and one person commented and said moving away from Ethereum is really the worst decision they can make. In recent times, Ethereum fees have dropped a great deal. They have dropped because there's not much activity on the network. That's why. And you know why there's less activity on the network? It's because less Ethereum is being minted. And there's less Ethereum being minted because there are less miners minting it because the difficulty is artificially increasing, thereby reducing the amount of transactions that are going. This is not good. That's what I'm saying. This is not good for Ethereum. It's not good that the fees are low right now, because the fees are low because that is a direct correlation to the amount of usage the network is getting. To under $3 per transfer, but they're starting to rise again this week as the average gas fee is up to 0.0056 ETH or $9.87 per transfer. The cost to move an The cost to move an ERC20 asset like Apecoin can be costly or more costly than a simple Ether transfer. Apecoin's value has dropped a great deal as the crypto asset is down 77% from its April 28th all-time high, tapping $26.70 per ape. During the past month, ape is down 57%, and 7-day statistics indicate Apecoin has dropped 4.9% in value. Ape has an overall market capitalization of 1.77 billion US dollars today, and Apecoin has seen 252 million in 24-hour global trade volume. Oh, so essentially this vote is going down. I'd like to hear your thoughts on this. So we're going to get a little questionnaire go. We'll get our own AIP 41 vote going on. In favor, AIP 41. Are you in favor of AIP 41? Remember, if you're in favor, it means that you are in favor of them staying on the Ethereum blockchain. 70% say no in our chat. 29% say yes. I find that interesting because the community over at, of course, Apecoin think that they should stay on Ethereum. I trust you guys more, though. I'm just saying. I trust you all more. I think they should have their own chain. I think they have enough money they could sell one stupid f***ing monkey and fund the whole development of a new chain. I just they make their own chain, Brian Nichols. That's what they do. They make their own chain. I hope you enjoyed this clip from the Crypto Mining Morning Show every Monday through Friday, 7:45 a.m. Pacific and 10:45 a.m. Eastern Time. You can check out more clips here, or if you're interested in checking out the entire live show, you can check that out down here. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next Tuesday.